Hello and welcome back to our Minecraft 1.20 survival Let's Play. A very exciting episode of our Let's Play today where we are finally going to be tackling our largest building by far, the library. We've got tons of villagers wandering around here today. Of course, everybody's interested, even though you have nothing for me. Thank you, please leave. And yeah, I think I'm really excited for this. We gathered all the resources last episode, put them all in here. We've got tons of, I also made some concrete, and actually, I don't know, in case everybody's got real keen eyes noticed, we lost all of our levels. So we were at about level, 32 or 33 or something at the end of last episode. I fell off a tower while building my concrete piles, because that's how I do the concrete. I build up and then and then do water and then go down. And yeah, I just wasn't paying attention. So that's too bad, but whatever, we'll get them back, I'm sure, in time, and we'll die again as well. You know, we can't make it forever in this game. So anyway, we have all of our concrete. You kind of see it all here. We've got our little bit of yellow, a little bit of blue, mostly white, blue for our roofs, dark oak for our like accents and stuff. And this is going to be a really fun, colorful, big build, and I'm so excited about it. So yeah, I mean, really, I think for the most part, we just have to get started on this. This is going to be the area where we're building it. And since it's going to be mainly a building episode, I will be putting in a time lapse of this build, which I don't think I've done in any of my videos yet, but yeah, that's been good. Other than that, really all that's been going on in this world, I've been harvesting the animals or rebreeding the animals, I should say. Haven't harvested them in a while, but breeding the animals and harvesting the garden and all of that. And I've been trading with our gardeners as well, our farmers. But we still have a ton. We're so behind on our pumpkin and melon selling, and they will not take very many. Like, look at how many emeralds we've gotten already, but they only take a few of these a day. So I've been trying to keep on top of that, getting rid of a few every day. So hopefully soon we will be at least kind of caught up with what's going on with that. We might have to get a couple more farmers. I'm not really sure. We could always put down some more composter boxes in order to get some more farmers and get that going a little quicker. It's something that I have been considering, but we don't really have a lot left of the small vegetables like the beets and carrots and wheat in order to level the early ones up so that they can sell or buy melons and pumpkins. So it is what it is. We might just have to be a little bit patient with that. But yeah, I think, well, we're gonna have to sleep the night here right away, and then I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys what the outline of this building looks like so we can get a good idea of the scale, at least like width and size wise, that we're looking at. All right, so here is a view of the outline of basically the size of what this building is going to be. So I'm not 100% sure. I was kind of just thinking I might move it back a little bit. I wanted to mostly check the width here and make sure we could fit it, and we can if it's pretty much perfectly right on this little area here. But I think I would like to do a little maybe garden of some sort leading up to the entrance. So I think I'm just gonna take this whole thing and shift it back into a bit more of this back corner over here. But I'll do that off camera, obviously. I won't make you sit through that. But yeah, this is kind of the idea. So this is going to be the entrance. You walk up a little set of stairs here, and we'll walk in to the building here. And then over on this side, I was thinking we'd just do like the actual library portion with a whole bunch of bookshelves as we can make them. I think it's going to be up a level as well, just so that it's raised a little bit, give a little bit of height difference in here. Back here, I think it'll just be a window. I don't even think we really need a second entrance back there. And then over here is going to be the little booths for our librarians. So we're going to be able to house 6 librarians, which I think is going to be enough. I don't really think that we need more than that, to be honest. The rest of the enchantments we can get elsewhere. I'm really just worried about the main 6. So fortune, mending, protection, unbreaking, silk touch, and efficiency is what I'm going for here. So all the ones that are a bit more specific to like boots or to helmets or whatever, we'll just use our enchanting table, play around with it, that kind of thing. I think that'll make this whole situation much easier. We won't be re-rolling for, 12 or more enchantments. So I think that will be good. Okay, there it is. Way more set back. You can kind of imagine the nice little path and maybe gardens or seating areas, or I don't even know what. Maybe we can do like a little cute fountain or a pond even, maybe like a natural garden kind of situation out here somewhere. I don't know yet. We'll have to, we'll do that when we get there. But first things first, I'm going to go ahead and start building start building this guy. I'll talk you through the time lapse as it's going, and I hope you enjoy. So obviously the first thing that I do after I make an outline for a building is start to fill in the walls. In this quick little stint, you're gonna see me fill in the walls with some very like specifically located colors and windows and all of that. Generally speaking, like since I kind of had a better, like more of a plan for this one, I just, I didn't fill it all in and then break it all down and yada yada. But something that I would suggest if you are just building something for the first time, either in creative mode or in survival mode, doesn't really matter, is generally what I would do is fill in the walls completely, just like with a solid color almost. And that's where you kind of pick out where you actually put these color pieces or the little inset pieces or the windows and all of that kind of stuff. So, don't feel discouraged if you don't know exactly where to put all of that color and windows right off the bat. You can fill it all in just with white in this example, and then, cut and paste color as you need it. I just didn't really need to do that here. The other thing I did here is decide how tall the first floor and second floor were going to be. Generally speaking, I go as a rule of thumb, like 4 to 5 on a first floor, 5 sometimes if I'm going to be doing a roof right after that. This one has a second story, so I think I went 4 and then 5 for the second one. All right, I want to take a quick pause here and just kind of walk you through the progress a little bit. I'm not sure, you guys will have to tell me like what is the most helpful for you, because I do get a lot of comments from you guys saying that you are looking for building inspiration or like want to be able to build stuff more similar to mine. I mean, I'm not an expert builder, but if you're kind of trying to at least get to this kind of, maybe doable and like looking sort of decent level, I just want to give you as many tips as I can kind of along the way to help you out on that journey as well. So I just thought that I would show you kind of what it looks like first step, while it's still very boxy and still very kind of boring looking, I guess, because I do think that the hardest part for most people that I see is getting from this sort of like I have a shape stage to it looks like a building stage. So this one's obviously a little bit more complicated than just, a normal kind of boxy building, because I kind of already knew what I was doing and I added in the colors and stuff. But you can even kind of imagine if you wanted to start off with just one material for your, kind of general shape like this, and then add the color in later. You could definitely do that. I did that when I was kind of testing it out in creative mode as well. But this is, basically what it looks like at the start. So I know that I'm going to want to have this little outcropped or jutted out entryway. So this just kind of sits out just a tiny bit, just to give us a bit more depth. It doesn't really do anything for the inside, but I do know that I'm going to put a kind of peaked roof of some sort on here. So you could build this up taller and then make your peaked roof and then tear it down later. But I just know that since this is our entryway, we'll only go up a couple before the peaked roof starts, and then we'll have to fill it in afterwards. I just find that easier than filling it in and then taking it down afterwards. So that's kind of that first entry area. And then basically at this same height, I've done a whole first floor all the way around the outside on that side, and then a whole second floor that is just a little bit taller than the first floor, but that is because the roof is going to kind of cut off some of this. So the windows aren't actually going to be this tall, but I just kind of wanted to start with more space rather than less space. You can always take it down afterwards if you need to, or, you can do a second floor that's only 3 high instead of, what is this? I don't know, you'd think the floor is there. So really it is only like 4 high, because you do have to consider a floor for your second floor as well. So it's kind of what that looks like. And then on this side, even if, you start off with just one big, block area on this side, this is kind of what I had imagined was doing this sort of offset. So we have kind of a brick foundation underneath. And then this one is just offset a tiny bit, and we'll put some supports in the details kind of under here as well, so it doesn't look too off. But that's just kind of an extra little fun detail that's really easy to add, in my opinion, and kind of adds quite a bit to it with the depth as well. And then, yeah, the sides are really not that exciting. This is just, I just kind of left some space for windows so that I didn't have to cut them down later. Not 100% sure about the window shape yet. Those always, you can change after the fact. The back on this side looks the exact same as that side, just the color's a little bit inversed. And this part here is just going to be another window up there. I don't know about the shape of that window yet, but we'll just kind of leave that for now. And then it's a little hard to see over here because we're right on the edge of this cliff. I'm going to have to put some dirt down a little bit. But on this side here, we've got a window just like on the other side there as well. So yeah, just kind of, a good first look. This is how I always do my buildings. I do the general shape that I want first, make it interesting. You can always worry about how to fill it in and how to do roofs and, whether or not it's the exact right size later. Just kind of build out your general shape, maybe for what you want. I know that I wanted this much room in here so that we can put our librarians, like I'd explained before, and a little bit of room on this side for an actual little library area. But you could either, I don't know, I think it kind of works either way in this game. You can either make it functional, build it exactly to the space that you're going to need, or just build it, fill it in with stuff later on. It's not that big of a deal. Really, building is just about experimenting and trying new things and all of that. So yeah, anyway, that's what that looks like. Let's hop back into the speed build and finish off the roofing and all of the fun details on this one. So yeah, step 2 is roofs and details. So I always outline my roofs first. So it can be kind of overwhelming to try to think about the whole situation, how to put a roof on a building. I know that's something that I struggled with for a really long time. Now all I do is I do this kind of outline. You saw in a lot of if you watched any of my housing builds, I will often do just the regular stair triangle roofs. This one I was trying to do something a little bit different. You can find these patterns online on Pinterest, on any of that kind of fun stuff. But I always just set it one out in front of the wall and do the roof, do the pattern on the edge, and then we'll fill it in later on. You can also see kind of the fun little details that I did on the right hand side. That one took me a little while to put together and just kind of plan out and pattern and all of that fun stuff. But you can kind of see what I did there. It's basically just intention, it's just meant to add a little bit more depth to the wall. I've never really done anything quite like that before with little roof sections, but there's lots of inspiration photos and stuff that I found in order to do that. And then here we're doing a whole bunch of little things. We're outlining the windows with some fun blues, adding some pillars to that section we just did, yada yada. And then back to just doing more roofs. So this one is a little bit bigger and it takes a little longer, so you might be able to get a better view of exactly kind of the pattern here, but it is very similar to that regular stair, upside down stair, regular stair, upside down stair that makes the normal triangle roofs. And just every once in a while I put in a full block to make it look a little bit more rounded. And I think that kind of works out quite good. There's lots of cool roof patterns that you can get from people. Lots of people do the more this one's more bell-shaped, I think. You can get ones that go out a little bit more. It just kind of depends on the sort of style that you're going for. But I highly suggest just, looking up on, you can probably even Google it, but Pinterest is where I usually get my inspiration from. And people post roof patterns like that all the time. And then from there, I just fill it in. I just fill it in all the way until the roofs connect together. And then you kind of just have to play around a little bit with how to actually get those two to fuse together seamlessly. But for the most part, if you're using stair blocks and stuff, they do actually fuse together really good because the stairs got cute little corners that get made, you can see there. And yeah, I don't know. I've never really had a problem with joining roofs together. You just might have to fill in a few odd spots like I did there. And if there's a little thing like that, kind of the brown roof connecting with the blue there that looks maybe a little off, nobody's gonna notice. It's just one little spot up in the middle of your roof. It's not a big deal. But yeah, hopefully some of those tips help a little bit. I know I've gotten a few comments saying that people have a hard time with roofing their buildings. Those are my suggestions. Find a cool pattern to put on the edges. And the other thing that I would say is I do buildings like this with their roof sideways, if that makes sense. So the edges of the roofs are on the smaller sides. If you were trying to roof this side view that we're looking at right now and putting the peak on there, it would end up being a massive, massive roof. And it would just kind of look very off and disproportionate. So always go with the smaller sides as well. All right, so here is our library. So I'll show you a little bit around. I mean, you saw most of it in the speed build anyway, but we can take a bit of a closer look at it here. So that is the front. We're a little covered by some golems. They like this big open space, I think. But that's what it looks like. I think I did some of the window framing, I think, off camera, and then put in the stained glass off camera as well. But for the most part, it should look very similar to how it looked in the speed build. So that's what it looks like from the front. This is obviously the main view, and the view that I took the most time on by far. As we kind of go around, you'll notice probably that, a little less care is taken, but I think that's okay. So there's this one here, a little bit more plain, but we've still got that fun window and a bit of a framing. And as we get along this way, it does get a bit harder to see, but you can kind of see there's another equal window on that side. And then let's get up here and take a look from this side. So there's nothing really back there. We won't really see this side very often, but I still wanted to make it look at least half decent. So this side looks a little bit different. It doesn't have that cute little outcropping, so we don't have a door back here, but we do have a great big window down here, and then another window up top. Those both just let light into the main area inside. And then we've got this kind of exactly mirrored from the other side as well. And then last one over here is another big window. Did the same thing with the framing, same thing with the stained glass. And just kind of added some dark oak features around the outside just to add a little bit more to it. So that's kind of, I don't know, that's that. I mean, if you're looking at building, more basic stuff, obviously this area here with the windows and the archways is significantly more complex. And, if you're looking to get into building bigger structures and stuff, you don't need to start with something like this. It's a bit much. Like it was even a bit much for me to put together. It's, an archway inside and then another archway outside. And then we've got the double trap doors here. You can see that kind of make that, halfway point, pillars and all of that sort of stuff. I would focus more on stuff like this if that seems overwhelming to you. If not, I mean, obviously do it. But if it does feel a little overwhelming like it did to me at the beginning, something like this works really well. We just do things like, these are just fences for framing along the outside of the walls. I think always add just a little bit to it, a little bit of dimension, a little bit of color to break up that white. And then obviously these are just trapdoors at the bottom just to kind of frame that wall out a little bit. And I do think it adds so much to it rather than it just being a plain wall with a window in the middle. Even if that window does have something fun on it, it adds so much around the outside there. So the next big part of this is obviously going to be the interior. So I will do the interior with you as well. I think I can kind of it'll probably be quicker. Well, it will be quicker, obviously, on the video. But I will do kind of the speed build as well, set the camera up, something like right here, just so that you can watch me build in here. But for the most part, I think I kind of already explained what we're doing. There's going to be little workstations in each of these windows for our 6 librarians that are going to be trapped in here. And they're just going to be, I just kind of came up with a cute little design for almost like a little hut of sorts. Oh, it's raining outside, how nice. And I am going to cover the ceiling. So I was playing around with this a little bit in creative mode, and I do think it looks a bit better when the ceiling is covered. So I'm going to be covering the ceiling with stripes of white and blue and yellow concrete as well. So we're not going to see this wood in here at all. It just looks a bit more sleek without it. And then up here is going to be a whole bunch of bookshelves and just kind of a cute little library area. And obviously we'll need some stairs to do that. And the floor is going to be a lot of colorful terracotta. So we can do I think it's the yellow ones that look really good, have that kind of blue and yellow coloring. And we'll put that pattern on a lot of the floor in here. And I think that's going to look really cool. It's just going to be very bright, very colorful. This is quite the library, I would say, but we're going for a bright and colorful theme here. So looking forward to that. So last but not least, a quick little time lapse here of the interior. This one didn't take very long, but you can kind of see what I'm doing here. I just wanted to show, I wanted to fill out the roof. So the ceiling, sorry. I don't always do this in my builds. In a lot of the houses that I built for the village and stuff, I just left the wooden ceilings. But for this one, I kind of wanted to just make it a little bit more cohesive and clean inside to kind of go with the overall aesthetic. I don't know, you can kind of do either one. Maybe it's a bit of a waste of materials, but I think it turned out really good. So I just kind of wanted to mix some white in the middle here. I did the fun little checkered pattern on both sides. Both these sides are going to end up being basically the same. And I think it just kind of brings a lot of that color in here. Again, just trying to make this a really fun and colorful build. And then we're going to do this upstairs area here next. So this is just kind of a little library desk area. I don't know. It's just a little extra thing it's only for show. There's nothing of note up here. And I don't think there's ever going to be. But you can watch me struggle with placing these pattern floors for a little while. These are tricky. I thought I had the hang of it. And then there was one piece in here that I just could not figure out how to place. It was the weirdest thing. And then on the floor over here, I had to try a couple of times to get it quite right, but I ended up just doing a kind of general little pattern here. I think in the end I ended up changing even that pattern floor to white floor. And then these are the little booths that our villagers are going to be in, our librarians are going to be locked into so that they can, sell us some fun stuff. And okay, I guess we're going to switch it a little bit back and forth here. I am going to fill this all the way up with bookshelves. I didn't in this time lapse quite have enough bookshelves yet, but we're going to get them. I'm going to find some more bookshelves. We're going to fill it in. And then the last step always in all of my builds is, of course, lighting. And that's what it looks like. We'll take a tour of everything now. And here we are. The library is finally complete. So you can see, everything inside here. So essentially, I did add some more bookshelves. We need to find some more. None of the villages that I have mapped out seem to have libraries. So I did go to a few of them, but yeah, none of them had libraries that I could take the bookshelves from. So that was too bad. But I do want to fill this wall the rest of the way in with bookshelves and then maybe even do a couple of towers behind the chairs here or something. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that, but not a huge deal for now. But this is our cute little reading area or study area, or I don't know what you would call this, but just a cute little landing with some bookshelves. And then we come down here. I would also, I think, like to put some bookshelves in this area as well to kind of fill it out a little bit more. But this is just kind of a workstation. So in this chest, I've put all of our emeralds, all of our books, and our enchanted books that we haven't used yet. As well. I'll have to do some more enchanting, but we need some more levels to be able to do all of that. And then we have these extra 2 lecterns. So these are just kind of wandering librarians. I don't know. They're going to change every day until we buy something from them. I'm not really too concerned, but that's what that looks like. You can also see I added in a whole bunch of foliage after the speed build as well. And we got all of these guys in their places. So I think we got everything that I wanted other than efficiency 5, right? Efficiency goes up to 5, I'm pretty sure. So I wanted that, but the best I could get was efficiency 3. I was doing this forever. Hardly ever saw an efficiency book being sold, period. So we're just gonna have to double up by 2 of them. At least they are kind of one of the cheaper ones. I actually got some pretty good prices for a lot of stuff too. 19, 20, I think this one's even cheaper. Yeah, 9 for Silk Touch, which is kind of nice. Mending we already had, that was fairly cheap. Fortune 3 is also quite cheap, and then I think, Unbreaking I think is the expensive one, 34. But, not too bad, and I think we've got a pretty good economy going on with our gardens anyway, so we should be able to make lots of money. But yeah, that's what it looks like on the inside. And we are starting on the inside because I did some stuff outside that was not in the speed build. So let's take a look. Ta-da! All right, so we got a cute little garden and a lot of iron golems just kind of wandering around. Lovely. A lot of them up here. I don't know why they're all up here. I guess they like to dance on the bushes, but essentially, I just kind of made this look like an overgrown sort of garden. And on this side, you've got this cute little pathway that leads to a sitting area, reading area, kind of whatever you want to do in here. You can even imagine these big chess tables you have a lot at libraries or something like that could be fun. But yeah, just a little area for people to come and sit. And then over here as well, we have a pond. So I put in a bit of coral, and I got a pufferfish that hates me. It kept blowing up when I was trying to put everything in this place. And a tropical fish. I would love to get an axolotl or 2 in here, but we haven't found any yet, or at least I haven't picked any up. So we'll keep adding to this pond as we, find some new fish and stuff. I think that'll be cute. And then just a little bench over here. And then I'm not sure what all these people are so stuck on. Hello. It's kind of a weird place to be, but whatever. I just thought that was a cute little kind of sitting area and garden. And then that is what the building looks like from here. There are also a few street lights as well. Those are obviously new, but I think it should be pretty lit up at night. I added a bunch of lanterns to the actual building as well. So I don't think we have to worry too much about spawning. Though this village isn't spawn proof, so still, we're gonna light it up as best as we can. But yeah, I think that is pretty much it. So I'll give you a quick little flyover of the actual building as well here. But yeah, as always, let me know in the comments what you thought of today's video. If you have any suggestions and what do you think we should build next? I'm leaning towards our enchanting tower, and then really, after we have that kind of going, I don't have a lot of other plans for this world. We could start getting into some pretty crazy stuff after that point. So let me know if you have any suggestions, any cool ideas that you think we should do, and I will talk to you in the next one.